Keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside of the vehicle at all times.
I'm gonna throw it out.
Even I am not
I'm gonna
moving.
throw it.
If you all look up above your head, you're going to see an animal spotting guide. That'll show you all the animals we see out in the Harambe Wildlife Reserve today. Now we won't see them all, but we usually do get pretty lucky. Additionally, if you ever lose track of what animal I am talking about, an animal spotting guide is going to be your best friend. You can take a quick peek up at that guide and match the name to what the animal looks like, or vice versa. It'll help you get right back on track. If you're going to be taking any pictures today, I recommend having those cameras out, ready, and secure, and on sports, live, or action mode, as I will not be able to stop for every animal that we see. And having them on sports, live, or action mode allows you to capture these animals, even if they are moving around or moving past them a little bit too quickly for a clear picture. Alrighty now, my friends. We're entering the little Ituri forest. Animals in the Ituri forest like to hang out way back in the trees and bushes using camouflage to remain hidden, so we'll keep our eyes peeled for them.
I don't like.
Don't worry though, I am pretty good at spotting the animals out here, and with all your help back there, I think we're going to see a lot of really cool things in the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Off to the left-hand side, hiding behind a tree over here, you're going to see the brown fur of a greater kudu.
Whoa,
The greater kudu is the second largest species of antelope in the reserve, standing at about 5.5 feet tall on the shoulder. Off to the right, you're going to see the striped legs of the okapi kind of hiding behind the bamboo over there. Now, although the okapi have those zebra stripe bands, they're actually very, very closely related to the giraffe and not to the zebra at all. We can tell it's a couple ways. They have the same long neck like a giraffe, ossicones or little bumps on the top of their head, and a long, prehensile tongue. Off to the right, on top of this hill, I do see a saddle-billed stork in between the bushes over here, because I can see its head poking up. The saddle-billed stork have brown and yellow eyes. The brown eyes means they're male, the yellow eyes means they're female. That is the case for all saddle-billed storks. And they also mate for life, so when you find two of them together, they're going to be together for life.
Like a bird.
Really cute. They do not have vocal cords, so they will communicate with each other by clattering their bills together very, very rapidly and in different patterns to mean completely different things. Now, I mentioned that word prehensile when talking about the okapi's tongue. Prehensile means hand or finger-like, so with their tongue, the okapi can actually reach out and grab onto leaves or branches, really just about anything like they have a hand where their tongue is, which is very, very cool and very, very useful here as well. Now, I also see off to the left-hand side, hiding behind this big pillar of bamboo, the red fur of the bongo. Now, bongo have white stripes on them. Those white stripes mimic sunlight filtering into the trees. It's a form of camouflage. Both male and female bongo have horns in their heads that point straight back, so they can run through trees and brush.
They said he.
Now, exiting the little Ituri forest, making their way towards the Saki River, my friends. Animals that live out in the Saki River like to hang out way below the surface, so this is sometimes pretty difficult to spot as well. A telltale sign the animal might be hiding out in the water. You might see some bubbles. You might see a dark shape. Maybe even a nostril or two. So let's keep our eyes peeled and see what we can see hiding out here, friends.
Oh, I forgot everything
Now, the
good
first
is
animal
on
I see
that
off to
side.
the right, it's going to be way up ahead off to the right-hand side. They are the pink-backed pelican. The pink-backed pelican get their name because of pink feathers on their back that get progressively brighter during mating season. Additionally, these birds are colonial nesters, meaning anywhere between 20 to 500 pairs of them come back to the same spot every single year to nest. That's right, up to 1,000 pelicans will be in one single nesting group. It's pretty crazy. They can incubate their eggs for about 3 days before those eggs hatch as well. See running in the water is a Nile hippopotamus. It's getting pretty close to the surface here. Now, hippos are one of the largest land mammals in the world. They can reach weights of 5,500 pounds when they're fully grown. There we go. You can see it reaching out of the water there.
That's so cool how they're right here close to us.
Now, I said running because actually, contrary to popular belief, hippos don't swim all that often. Most of the time, they will sink to the bottom of whatever body of water they are in, and they will run across the bottom, using their front two legs to help propel the forward. This is at 15 miles an hour, which is pretty impressive given their size and the fact that they're completely underneath the water. They spend a lot of their time underneath the water as well. They can actually hold their breath for between 6 to 8 minutes.
I want to go up there.
Just a reminder, friends, that everybody in our party must remain seated at all times. It is for your safety.
What?
Make sure everybody in our party is sitting down, friends. Now, hippos have the second strongest bite force of any animal on the reserve. That bite force is second only to the Nile crocodile, which is seen off to the left-hand side over here. Now, the Nile crocodile are the largest species of African crocodilian. They can be as long as 20 feet when they're fully grown and weigh up to 500 pounds.
No, I'm just kidding.
Their bite force can be as strong as 2,000 pounds of pressure per square inch. They do use those jaws gently, though, as baby crocodiles will crawl for their mother's mouth to escape danger. They're very, very heavy. We're now leaving behind the Nile crocodile, the Nile hippopotamus, the pink-backed pelican, and the Saki River all together, and we're making our way towards the savannah. Now, animals that live out in the savannah rely on speed instead of camouflage to protect themselves, so we'll keep our eyes peeled for them. Additionally, some of the most famous and well-known animals in all of Africa live out in the savannah, so you might be able to recognize a few of them before I even tell you what they are. Now, before we do make it down onto the savannah, I want to point out a very important part of the ecosystem to you. It's off on the right-hand side. It's called a baobab tree. Now, baobab trees are in this for about 9 months out of the year because they store water in their trunks instead of out on their leaves and branches. These trees store water in their trunks because they like to have an extra safety net of water, just in case rain does not fall out in the savannah, because they're not always guaranteed to. Baobab trees can actually store up to 1,000 gallons of water in their very porous tree bark at a time, which is a really significant amount. And when it's really, really dry and animals can't find water anywhere else, they'll go up to these baobab trees out in the wild and peel back their bark to get to the water on the inside, helping sustain themselves a little bit longer. That's how these trees get their very famous names, the trees of life. Alright, now my friends, we have officially made our way down onto the savannah. I see a couple animals way off in the distance there. It looks like a couple Hartman mountain zebra. I'm going to talk about them a little bit once we get a little bit closer to them though, just so that you can get that best view of these zebra. You might notice that a lot of this grass is cut very short out here. No lawn care of any kind is done by the humans out in the Harambe Wildlife Reserve savannah. This is actually all done by the animals. Animals known as grazers, who usually have very, very wide mouths, so they can get a lot of grass, will chow down on this grass all day long, keeping it very, very short.
That's nice. Like that. I hear them.
Now my friends, past this cave over here, behind it, you're going to see a couple African painted dogs lying down. African painted dogs are actually one of the world's most successful predators. They have about a 90% success rate when they hunt. This is because one by one these dogs will chase down their prey until it collapses from exhaustion, and they're packs from 5 to 15 dogs. They will communicate while they hunt as well, which is another part of what makes them so successful.
Like there's deer
Off of
back
that
there.
left-hand side, behind those couple pillars, you're going to see the brown fur of the sable antelope. The sable antelope are the official emblem of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve, so you might have seen pictures of them around already. They represent power and strength, which is why they were chosen to represent the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Now, unfortunately, those African painted dogs we saw are pretty critically endangered. There are only about 6,600 African painted dogs on the entire planet, due mostly to habitat loss. Unfortunately, as we as humans begin to expand our homes, we expand into the homes of these animals and make it uninhabitable for them. The African Wildlife Foundation is a really amazing resource to check out online. They have a lot of really good information on there about how you can help these animals out. So please, if you have time, check that African Wildlife Foundation out, friends. These animals really do need our help. Now, off to the left-hand side, you also see a couple Hartman mountain zebra. I know we saw them a little while ago. This is a great view. Now, the Hartman mountain zebra specifically are easy to identify because their stripes stop right in the middle of their sides, and they have very wide stripes on their back legs. Now, I am also here to answer the age-old question for you. Are zebras black with white stripes or white with black stripes? You look at their nose. Since the Hartman mountain zebra have black noses, I know that they are black with white stripes. These younger baby zebras that we can kind of see near their mothers can actually imprint on their mothers, memorizing her stripe patterns that can pick her out of a crowd, which is incredibly impressive because just like our fingerprints, no two zebras have the exact same stripe pattern. They're all 100% unique. Here's a real great view of them right here, friends, if you want to take that picture.
Hey guys.
As we pass by these Hartman mountain zebra, I do see a couple more animals straight ahead. You're going to see the gray fur of the wildebeest. They are herd animals, so when you see one, you'll usually see a few. And about 1.5 million of these wildebeest will travel across Africa every single year. And the dust clouds that kick up their travel so large it can be seen from space. We're also going to be passing by a couple Maasai giraffe off to the right-hand side. You can see something really rare here, actually, a Maasai giraffe lying down. I'll get into that in a second because Mr. Giraffe lie down. As we get a good look at these giraffe, you're going to notice how similar they are to the okapi. They have those same long necks, ossicones or little bumps on the top of their head, and they also have a long prehensile tongue. Now, a giraffe's tongue is more of a blackish purple color because giraffes spend about 20 hours a day eating. The same color as ours would actually be sunburned. Now, because giraffes spend about 20 hours a day eating, they really only spend about 30 minutes a day sleeping. Most of that sleeping is actually done standing up as well with their eyes wide open. So you could have seen those giraffe actually taking a little bit of a power nap right there. They usually do it in about 5-minute increments. I mentioned they sleep standing up. They actually do almost everything standing up. That's why it's pretty rare to see those giraffe lying down. They will do everything. They become notorious for giving birth standing up. That's how little they like to lie down. I like to say the first thing a baby giraffe experiences in this world is gravity because they have about a 6-foot drop to the floor after their moms give birth to them. Don't worry though, that drop does help kickstart the baby giraffe's heart, and they're usually up and walking in about 30 minutes to an hour after birth. They can stand at 16 to 20 feet tall when they're fully grown, making them the tallest land mammal in the world. Now I'm seeing a lot of pushed over trees and logs, which means one animal in my mind, friends, the African elephant. They are also known as the bulldozers of the savannah because they could push over things that are in their way. And it looks like we're in luck because up ahead off to the right-hand side, I see an African elephant. I'm going to go real slow here so you can all get some pictures because I believe we're not going to get a great view of that elephant as we make our way around the corner, unfortunately. Now, African elephants are easy to identify because of their big ears with the continent of Africa. If you look off to the left, you're going to see a male mandrill kind of running around back there. He is the largest monkey in the world. Male mandrills can weigh up to 100 pounds. They have 2-inch long canine teeth in their mouth. When they show these teeth to their owners, they smile. When they show these teeth to any other animal on the planet, including humans, and say, please stay away from me. I really don't want to talk to you right now, smile. And I recommend you take them up on an offer. Here's another great view of the elephant, although it's not the wrong side. And you can see those big old ears flapping because they have a lot of blood vessels and veins behind them. You can actually see those veins if you look closely. By flapping their ears, they can actually reduce their body temperature by up to 15 degrees Fahrenheit by cooling off the blood in the veins behind their ears. Unfortunately, though, they are illegally hunted all the time for their tusks made of ivory. It's called poaching. It's really sad. All this poaching has led to them becoming endangered, sprinkled with a little bit of habitat loss that goes on. There are a couple ways though that you at home can easily help these elephants out, and I'll tell you them right now. The number one and easiest way, in my opinion, is just don't buy ivory. Now I know ivory is very, very pretty, but there are a lot of really good replicas and replacements for ivory that don't come from an animal that has most likely been poached. By buying ivory, you're kind of helping support a system that supports these illegal poachers. So next time you or your friends are thinking about buying an ivory product, maybe look into a different product instead that doesn't necessarily come from an animal that has most likely illegally been hunted. Additionally, friends, by recycling your cell phones and electronics when you're done with them, that's another great way to help these elephants out. Now, all of our phones and a lot of our electronics have a metal in them called coltan. Coltan is mined primarily in Central Africa, right in the heartland of a lot of these